Greetings and salutations everyone, I'm Ekmak, this is Let's Play Oxygen Not Included. In the last episode I realised I had flooded the steam turbine with oil. I had only meant to dump 200 kilograms of oil on it at most, but I never actually came back to switch off the bottle emptier, so we have about 4 tons worth of oil in reserve here, so we should be able to send in exactly the number that we want. Hydrogen vent is still not being very cooperative. But yeah, in the last episode the thing is, things keep going wrong, and then we have to fix them. You'd think that me talking out loud would mean that I'm thinking enough about these things that I do notice these problems when they happen, but I don't. The other thing that went wrong was that we accidentally flooded our coolant tank. Thankfully we lost none of our grub fruit, so these grubs are all still doing fine. Just fine. At some point I'm going to have to figure out where I want to set up my Sweetle Ranch. I'm probably going to need another cooling turbine specifically for it because if we dig up one of these liquid sulfur geysers, it's going to pump it out stupid hot because it's liquid sulfur. We need a way to cool all that down and keep everything nice and chilly for, well, not chilly, but cool enough that it's not boiling the Sweetles or their food source. You know what just struck me? What I actually want to ship over isn't sulfur. I want to ship over sucrose. My bad. So, critter feeder here. Demolish that. Demolish that. And this. And that. Build here. Oh, the hydrogen is causing problems here. It's starting to get a bit more radioactive around here. And this area is just completely backed up with carbon dioxide. But then what do you expect with one of these around? Okay, let's pick up the pace a bit. Perfect, we have the exact 1,000 kilograms of sucrose. Disable manual use, we have the diamond, ship it over. So yeah, they send us Sweetle Poop, we send them diamond. Doesn't sound like a very fair trade, does it? The thing is, these things produce tons of polluted water, and that is more than these 3 bulk buckets can handle. It uses 40 kilograms of water per cycle, so if I set this to 10,000 grams per second, that means 4 seconds of continuous run will be enough to... it'll already have its meal for the day, so yeah, the full run just isn't worth. In fact, I would say that this is already proving to be a backup system. Yeah, switch it off again. We've got to drain this liquid reservoir before we start filling it up again. Now then, with this out of the way, deconstruct buildings specifically. This is actually going to be home to an Atmos suit center, and it strikes me that maybe we don't want to have our insulated gas pipes go through it like that. Ironworks. But I guess we could wait until we're finished over here. What's the temperature range for these guys? 15 to 50. And for these guys, much more, they can handle much worse. So what things we need to... The temperatures to deal with. Let's be generous and say 20 degrees. Actually, let's be more generous and say we need to get this in. We need to get the oil filter filled up first. 66 by 870. Okay, good news. We don't have to fully fill this place up. We just have to fill up the bottom layer, and then we'll have enough oil to do our project. I just don't know how much oil that's going to take. Important rule about automation for oil wells: make sure that you don't switch them off when the back pressure requires it release, because then duplicants will just wait in front of the thing for it to become active again. So in a way, I'd almost consider set up a duplicant motion sensor so that it'll also be on whenever someone's waiting here for long enough. So make sure it's with a filter gate as well, just so it doesn't flick on and off every time they walk past. Ari. Exosuit training. I guess Frankie spends so much time sitting at the kitchen that he doesn't get the athletics points. Pei, on the other hand, because we've been investing in science, Pei's actually been learning things along the way. Speaking of learning things... we have several projects going on at once and none of them are getting done. So then, let's think. Just a little bit of oil, not enough to overload it, but enough to give it a bit of a heat buffer. I think what I want to do actually is to step up priority for in here. And maybe at some point someone can deliver some oxalite. Although it's also entirely possible that we never had oxalite over here. Oh, I didn't think of that. What's up with the radiation research? Are we still not... So there aren't any misused red bolts, it's simply that this is such an inefficient system. We also need oxalite to burn this thing, unfortunately. And unfortunately, it's not going to tell us, okay, how far can you travel? Oh, I bet that's why there's carbon dioxide here. It's because we're sending people in with oxygen masks instead of atmosuits. Atmosuits will store the carbon dioxide and then dump it out when they get back to the atmosuit dock. I guess the oxygen masks don't follow that rule. One 133 reds per cycle, 79.31. Research complete. We have space power technology, so... You know, I really should have talked things over, but okay. So, 2 of these are parts for the ship. The battery module stores excess power generated by a rocket or rocket platform, provide power to interior rocket outlets, but it loses charge over time. So it's not foolproof. The solar panel module converts sunlight into electric power for use on rockets. But it must be built on a rocket platform and exposed to space. They're extremely inefficient. I think 60 watts compared with the original I don't know, I can't remember numbers off the top of my head when I can't see them on the screen. Loud sleeper, building impaired, but extremely buff. Rocketry and cooking, a caregiver but an unpracticed artist. Tidying, building, uncultured plumber, but nyctophobic. You guys really shouldn't be hanging about here, you're just making the place untidy. I guess they were here to eat that iron. Yep, they're just happy now. Well... Oh no! So this one's trapped on this side of the map. So that's why he can eat, but the other one can't. Oh, it's this little blockade here. Well, that's awkward. Now I have to figure out how to shoo him away. Or should I? What if I were to block this area off? You really don't want to hang around there. You really shouldn't hang around there. But block this off, drop a little bit of metal on the ground here. And that should goad them into coming over, snacking a little bit, and then producing a little hydrogen storage area over here. That might make a good conductive area. Why are you all hanging about in here? Don't you know what a bad idea that is? Oh, the other thing about the research, right. So there are certain things that can only be built inside a rocket. Rocket control, they all should say it, so that they should say it, but that doesn't necessarily mean they will. The power outlet fitting, you just plug it in, and it sends the charge from the rocket to the interior. Liquid intake fitting, and the conveyor receptacle fitting, they allow you to take things from the storage tank into the pipes. So these are input systems. The liquid output and the conveyor loader are output settings. So they put things back into the storage tank of the rocket. But, and this was a very nice change, they've actually added overworld input and output ports. So if water... when we're landed, we can send water into this pipe. I'm not sure whether we should or not. But yeah. The liquid will go in here and it'll come out here. If we actually route the pipes so they go to here, then any liquid that arrives here will either be sent out that area, out here, but if we're in space at the time, then it's just lost to the vacuum of space. Can't get it back. You also have gas pipes that do the exact same thing. Over here we have something I've never used before, the wall toilet. It is very compact, very germ friendly. It dumps, but the downside is that it dumps the contents into the outside world. So you have to either spend power re-plugging it into the water using liquid pumps to get it back again, unless you happen to be in a rocket and open it onto space. I don't know if you use the toilet while it's parked, whether it's going to dump the polluted water into space anyway, or if it's going to drop it into the... wherever you plugged it into the Spacefarer module. So there'll be an experiment to get to. Sure, install an iron battery here, why not? You really shouldn't be there! I'm surprised they haven't added some variants for plug slugs, honestly. Countdown till this backfires horrendously. I may have to introduce that back into the world at some point, but not today. And you know what I also haven't been playing? I haven't played either of the games that I ran a Let's Try for just the other weekend. No playthrough of Three Hopes or Symphony of War. They look interesting, I just haven't had any time to play them because I've been too addicted to Oxygen Not Included, but I've also had other things to do. This area is choked with floral scents, so it's fine to cut out some slime here. Oh, hello, Pei. And done! Pei can now run the rocket for as much as we need. Although, so we also have Joshua. How can we... Oh dear. Poor Joshua. Ah, yes, he sees that cobalt ready. I'm gonna eat a sandwich. Invisible sandwich. And now, this is just temporary, but I want to keep this. I want to keep them from continuously crawling into here. Oh dear, that's a lot of hydrogen. He was a very hungry plug slug. Speaking of back pressure, this thing is just about overloaded, so we're about to get a lot of super hot nat gas. You know what might actually be a nice idea? Add a few more puddles to it, I'd say. There's plenty of oxygen for him, it's just all spread out all over the place, so he's still not full. The unfortunate fact is that to start swinging the chances of laying a proper lava egg again, we have to push him to 100 degrees Celsius, but he can't live that hot. Okay, there's something Pei can do. Pei can be focused on operating jobs because clearly we don't have enough people doing operating jobs, and it just struck me that Pei can't go down there. Okay, negative 30% run speed isn't that bad. It's just when they have 0 athletics, that's when it's a problem. Right, the reason we got Joshua is because Joshua can do something else. I'm not going to install one in here, but the Orbital Data Collection Lab create data banks that can be consumed at a virtual planetarium to unlock new technologies. It can only be built inside a rocket though. So that's why up until this point we've just been trying to squeak by with our virtual planetarium by not going too far into there. We just hang on to these little databanks. But once we start being able to research there, we'll be able to tackle these orange sciences no problem. Well, maybe problem with that material research requirement. We might as well finish researching all of the no radioactive research categories, right? Right. Sure, operating. Anyone that you plan on sending to space probably does best when you give them a lot of operating skill. For reasons we will see someday. Not today, but someday. I wish we had more buddy buds. Oh, we also have a lot of infected gold amalgam over here, don't we? Time up for the episode. I noticed that earlier and yet I just kept going because I got distracted. Until next time, guys, take care. I'll see you all around. This is indeed quite the hot area. But we'll get, I believe, one more serving should do the trick. I didn't feel safe about heating up any further with this guy here. because he has that 90 degrees livable range, but it's a lot nicer to... I feel a lot safer about doing it here.